Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, she's a very successful life coach, and her passion is helping others find theirs. Her journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, 50 years ago, if you were a life coach, you would starve. Who would hire a life coach back then? But these days, it's almost everybody has a life coach. Everybody's going through stuff. The pandemic was a big trigger for a lot of people, and so almost everybody I know has some version of a life coach, an accountability partner. To talk about that today, Kristy Kerns. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
Very cool. Well, she and I met at a conference hosted by Dr. Fab. Shout out to Dr. Fab. And she just has this big smile. And we sat down and we bonded. And I said, Kristy, you need to come on my show. I want to tell people your journey. So, how long have you been interested in the life coach piece?
I've been interested for many years, but basically tapped into about 6 years ago.
Okay, what caused you to move in that direction?
I actually had a failed marriage, and I was constantly blaming him for the failed marriage, and basically realized that it wasn't just him, that I had a huge part in it. So I wanted to figure out, why did my marriage fail, not be the victim or blame anybody.
And you have a mentor.
I do, Dr. Nisi. She's amazing.
And so you saw her as a client.
I did. I started with her as a client, just trying to see, okay, something has to be fixed in me, trying to change basically the story that I was telling myself and that other people told about me.
Sure. And we all tell ourselves a story every single day. I mean, if you wake up and you say, oh my goodness, I hate my life, I don't want to even wake up, I don't want to get out of bed, you're going to have a horrible day.
Yes, very much so.
So when you wake up, what's your first waking thought? What do you try to tell yourself?
I give gratitude to everything, even the breath that I breathe. You know, without breath, you can't do anything.
Absolutely. The other thing I think is cool about you is you're not just a life coach, you are also a very successful realtor, and that allows you to get into people's lives sometimes at a low point, because many times it's a divorce that causes a person to put up their house for sale.
Very much so. That's what I tapped into the real estate with, obviously, the life coach, because you have to be there. You're just not selling a home, you're selling everything and being there for a shoulder to cry on if somebody needs our help. You know, just to use those little formulas to help the client make the best experience for them, for sure.
Sure. We're going to show some video of the DFW market, which is really one of the hottest housing markets in the whole country. And I think many realtors forget that, yes, you are coming into a person's life and you're going to learn everything about them. So they better like you as a person, because all of the dirt is coming out, isn't it?
It's so true, yes. You learn so much about. It's like being a hairdresser, but you're a realtor, but a counselor.
Well, and I love that, because I think, you know, you're able to use both, and you're also keeping your foot in the water, so to speak, of real estate, which is just a hot market anyway.
It is a hot market, definitely, and I love both aspects of it.
Okay, so let's give advice to the person who is going through the wrong tapes. They're just playing the wrong tapes over and over again. I don't know about you, but I have found this to be true. Somebody says something to me that's unkind, and it wasn't what they said that did the damage. It was the fact that I just replayed it about 500 times.
It's the way that you received it, and I constantly tell my clients that it's a mirror, and the people that are hurting you are putting all this on you, it's a reflection of them. So if you can just remember that it's a reflection of them, and then look at yourself in the mirror and see how you react, those are the things that you have to work on to make yourself a better person.
Sure. We've got some bucket list stuff that we're going to put up on the screen. This is kind of, I call this live your best life on the beach. How many Americans need to take a vacation and really go off someplace and put the phone away and get in touch with themselves?
Everybody. I recommend clients at least every 6 weeks, even if they can do a little staycation, just disconnect and reevaluate your life, what you need to do. It's very, very healing and therapeutical.
Yeah, and would you agree with me that the pandemic kind of did a number on all of us?
It did. I think that it separated us, and then I think that everybody is definitely hurting and wanting and yearning for that connection again.
Sure. The other thing that I'm noticing is that it's not a midlife crisis anymore. Young people in their 20s are waking up and they're 25 and they're like, I hate my life.
Yes, very much so.
So this generation is not a, hey, pay your dues and eventually you'll have this perfect life. They want the perfect life coming right out of college.
Right out of now. And I really wish that I could tap into like the junior high and the high school just to teach these values, because I think that kids would thrive definitely astronomically.
Sure. What would you tell a younger self? Like, now that you know all this stuff and you're helping so many people, what were some things that you would tell an 18-year-old Kristy?
I would definitely tell them, obviously, don't believe the stories that people are telling you. It's very hard with social media. I believe that social media is putting scales on everybody. I would just say that focus on whatever books, self-help, anything that you can, and be surrounded by the right people.
Yeah, and I think to your point about the social media, they've got these algorithms where if you're searching weight loss, all of a sudden everything that's coming at you is weight loss.
Yes, and everything's photoshopped, and it's all getting towards outward appearance, which that is great and everything. But if you change the inside, then you're even more beautiful on the outside. You don't have to. God made us special. We're the way that we're supposed to be.
Okay, so in the final couple minutes, if somebody is out there saying, I think I just found my life coach, what's the next step? I mean, we can put up your LinkedIn here in a second, but do you get on a Zoom call to see if it's a fit? What happens next?
I usually do a call or a Zoom, obviously not in state. I do like to meet in person, if obviously in Texas, just because I truly believe you can vibe off of each other and just know a little bit more. It's different to have belly to belly instead of over the internet. So
absolutely. Well, I think you're wonderful. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your heart with the world. We're going to end with her LinkedIn page. Go ahead and get a hold of Kristy Kerns. Thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.